All right, hi everybody. Gabe here. Just want to talk a little bit about my collection and where to go from here. If you didn't watch my last video, I walked through my whole collection. I'll quickly hold a few pieces up so that you can see them, or maybe actually instead of that, I will put them on the screen somewhere. Uh, don't hold me to that. If I can't do it, don't get mad. I'm still new at this. It would take a big leap in technological prowess to probably figure that out, but maybe I'll dig into it a little bit. Anyway, I have a Tudor Black Bay 58, which I love. I have a Rolex Datejust, which is beautiful. A Nomos Orion. I have a G-Shock. I have a Nixon watch. I have a Seiko 5 sports watch, and that's pretty much it. And when I think about kind of where to go from here, a few different themes pop up. One being budget, of course. For me, I don't make a ton of money. I I can't afford to just say, "Hey, I got one Rolex. What's the next Rolex I want?" That's just not realistic for me. Buying one Rolex a year is not realistic for me. So I have to take a step back and say, what are some affordable, some good value pieces that would get me excited, that would add something to my collection, and that I can afford? And those are really important questions. And so we're going to dig into a little bit of that today. When we talk about adding something to the collection, one thing that I think about is, obviously, what's my collection not have? And there's a lot. There's a lot. Frankly, I don't have a chronograph. I don't have a GMT. I don't have, some complications that I would like, a moon phase. But then also I think about brands. I think about what brands have gotten me excited as I'm doing research online or in articles. What's getting me excited? Well, I think of brands right away like Zenith. I think of brands like Grand Seiko. For me personally, I think of brands like Christopher Ward. When I look at Christopher Ward watches, those get me excited. I really like the Dune sort of field watch look. And then I think it's called the Dune. And then I really like the Sealander 63 GMT. It's kind of like an Explorer homage, an Explorer 2 homage. Really cool looking watch. Micro adjustments, GMT caliber. It's maybe a couple $1,000s. I think about brands like Longines with their heritage is really cool. It's such an old brand, I think from the mid 1800s or something like that. So that's really cool. And I look at their watches and I do get excited by the Zulu Time GMT. I get excited by other watches of theirs too. And so those are some of the places I go right away. When I think about Rolex, obviously I just said I can't afford a new Rolex, but the watches that I think about are like maybe a birth year Datejust or a neo vintage GMT, or something like that. Now, the neo vintage GMT, that's more of a pipe dream because again, I can't afford that watch right now or in the future, soon. But certainly a vintage Datejust, a 16233 two-tone champagne dial Datejust is just so classic and beautiful. I don't have any precious metal in the collection, so that Datejust would do a couple of things. It would bring a vintage watch. It would bring some precious metal. Obviously, I already have a Datejust, so maybe that's ridiculous. You guys tell me. What are other watches that I get excited about? I think about the Oris Big Crown Pointer Date. That's a really cool watch. They have like this deep blue one where the pointer, the pointer date hand has like a half moon, and it kind of hugs and shapes the date really nicely. I think that's such a cool watch. I have to find out if they make it in a size that would be reasonable for me. I have kind of small wrists, so usually I really like, what I've found is that I really like 38 millimeters. That's like 40 is doable, and anything over that, not really, honestly, unless it is just it's one of those watches that is 41 millimeters, but it just works or something. I think the biggest watch I could see myself having at some point, it would be 42 millimeters, maybe a Speedmaster or something, but probably not, honestly. Maybe just to have in the collection but not wear, but that seems ridiculous. I really want to be wearing all of my watches. So those are some places I go right away. Tell me what you think my collection could use based on my last video and the collection that I showed you in the picture here. And yeah, tell me, what am I missing? What am I not thinking about? What does my collection need? Point me in the direction of some brands I've never heard of. I am not opposed to trotting the unbeaten path and finding out about new and exciting brands. I've seen brands like, I think it's Baltic is really, I really like some of Baltic's watches. They have like a salmon dial watch that's pretty cool. What are others? I don't know. You guys tell me. Thanks for tuning in. I appreciate it.